Hello everyone, welcome back to the Hindu Explain series. I am Kushagra Goel. Whenever students put in more and more doubts or any other curiosity related questions with regards to their preparation, we at Law Prep Tutorial and I personally get very happy. And that is why we appreciate students putting in more and more doubts, okay? So yesterday there were some complex topics that we had discussed, right, with regards to protein structure of the coronavirus, okay? So now the news was that, see, there is this AI software DeepMind's company that had solved and predicted the protein structure of the coronavirus correctly. Now, protein structure, and there were other information, scientific knowledge with regards to that, okay? So I would say that, see, with regards to the prize that were awarded for protein structure, we discussed that, right? The second information was who deciphered or predicted the protein structure of the coronavirus correctly. So that is second information. The third thing, with regards to any other research that has been going on with protein structure, is not so relevant, because see, that is more specific knowledge. If you want to put it down, you are free to do so, but I believe that, see, the passage that you will get for your law examinations or any other entrance exam would not be with regards to in-depth analysis of protein structures, right? It will be maybe with regards to specific idea of spike proteins, or the larger passage will be about coronavirus in general, right? So that is why that is one aspect of coronavirus, and I suggest that what you need to do is, within your heading about the coronavirus and its biological structure, you need to put down that information, right? Rest everything is not so relevant from your examination or preparation point of view, okay? So that is why a general analysis of protein structure, see, any molecule or cell in the body is created through a biological structure, right? For example, we are human beings have skeleton. Skeleton itself is calcium. Calcium bones are made of a molecular structure or protein and has different constituents, right? So that different minuscule constituents that form the cells that create bones, that was the idea of protein structure, right? And every virus also has its own specific protein structure. So that was it about that article yesterday. The information that you needed to keep down, I had explained yesterday. So do check that out if you haven't, okay? Now, second doubt a lot of students had was with regards to APMCs and how they give farmers a larger voice, okay? So simple thing is, when there is a simple analogy that you can draw, that you can break sticks if they are singular, but if they are in a bunch, then breaking them down will be difficult. Now, in a system where farmers can collectively sell their produce, or corporations have to come and buy at one particular place rather than indulging in contracts with each individual farmer, then that does give farmers a collectively larger voice. And APMCs are an aggregation of farmers, okay? They are state sponsored rather than any private company. There is no vested interest in them apart from the state controlling the apparatus of it, right? And therefore they give the farmers a larger voice, because the corporation will have to deal with the entire structure or organization of one APMC. So that is how they give more voice to farmers, okay? Then there was another doubt that a student had with regards to democracy and republic, okay? Now, democracy is a simple system, okay, where the people elect their representatives who decide for them, right? So for example, in India we have a parliamentary democracy. What does that mean? That all of us are divided into different constituencies, and then there are 545 MPs who decide or represent us as the government of India, which rules us or which decides how we are governed, right? So that is the system of democracy, okay? In ancient Greeks and some city states in Greece, there used to be direct democracy. All the people used to vote, right? But in India, as you know, we have a huge population. In every place there is a larger population. That is why we have a representative democracy, where we elect our representatives and they govern on our behalf, okay? Republic. What does a republic mean? Republic means where the head of the state is an elected individual. So for example, in United Kingdom, the head of the state is the crown, okay? And the crown is hereditary. No one can elect who should become the next king or the next queen, right? But in India, the head of the state is the president. So there, we indirectly elect our head of the state. And in United States of America, it is a directly republic state where people vote for their president. Okay, so that is the distinction between republic and democracy. Democracy is a system. Republic is also a manifestation of the same system, which recognizes that the head of the state is an elected person or not. So in conclusion, you can say United Kingdom is a democratic constitutional monarchy. Monarchy because the head of the state there is a hereditary seat, right? But India is a constitution democratic republic, as our preamble states. So here the government is representative and the head of the state is elected. So that is the distinction. Then some students have been putting certain other doubts with regards to whether our analysis is enough for daily current affairs. We believe that that is the case because most of the stories that we talk about here are the ones that have been covered in the news, okay? And anything else that is in general or anything that is within, not within the purview of the newspaper, I am there to put in those extra impetus for you. So that is why we believe everything that is relevant from CLAT perspective will be covered here on a day-to-day basis, okay? Some students have been putting certain doubts with regards to certain events, right? Whenever and there will be more concrete news with regards to that. So for example, presidential pardons. There is speculation whether President Donald Trump will pardon himself and his own children even before any federal cases have been filed. So once those speculations are put to rest, it's better to discuss those things then rather than jumping to stories before, undercooked stories. What that does is it creates confusion for students. They will have to go back to the story, put in extra information, deduct or cancel out certain information which is not relevant. That is why even with regards to dispute between Israel and Saudi Arabia or anything other which is not concrete, the idea is that we should only discuss those things once they are finally cooked completely, right? So we'll be doing all those stories whenever they come, okay? Now with today's newspaper, okay? Now today's newspaper is a fine example of how, despite being 15 to 16 pages long, the information here may not be directly related to CLAT perspective, okay? So on the front page, we see that the first person who has been given the coronavirus vaccine is a 90-year-old lady in United Kingdom. Her name is Margaret Keenan, okay? So that is a positive news. The process of the pandemic receding has finally begun because vaccines with scientific proof have started to finally being given to people. In India, again, the emergency use for certain vaccines has been applied. Once that is approved by the government, we'll be discussing those vaccines all over again. But remember, in UK, the efficacy report of the Pfizer vaccine was 95%. No such data with regards to the efficacy of vaccines in India has yet been released, okay? On the farmer protest yesterday, they had called a peaceful Bharat Bandh. Most of the places the protests were peaceful. The impact may not be as efficient with regards to, let's say, a lockdown, but there were pockets of spaces where. And yesterday, talks had taken place between Home Minister Amit Shah and certain farmer leaders. Further talks are supposed to take place as and when I am doing this video, right? So if whenever there are more details, we will revisit the farmer protest then, right? Then yesterday there is allegation that a current incumbent chief minister of Delhi, Arvind Kejriwal, was put under house arrest so that he couldn't join the farmer protest. So this is a sort of violation of Article 19 and Article 21, right? And it comes more or less when it is an elected representative of people, right? So this is a difficult time with regards to that. Certain things, such restrictions should not be put in place without justifiable reason. The procedure established by law, right? As per Article 21. Now, apart from that, on the front page, there is not much news. There is mechanized fishing boats which were anchored at during cyclone Burevi. So there's a picture of boats that were anchored during the cyclone, and now probably they'll go back to the seas. So that's a news that things are coming back to normalcy there. On the bottom there is an update here. Okay, this is a news that you should keep in mind. Okay, certain names become relevant here, which is that the Mount Everest, a new height has been given to the highest peak in the world, which is the Mount Everest in Himalayas. The new height has been given 8848.86, 86 meters, 0.86 meters higher. Okay, the original height of the Mount Everest was 8848. It was put in by India in 1954 when India had conducted the surveys for this. Okay, so this is a new update that you should keep in mind. Okay, we'll discuss the tallest and highest certain things whenever we'll be covering the weekly update with regards to this. Okay, a little bit more detail with regards to this, we'll cover it then. Okay, now on the borders there is nothing. On the national news again there is more regarding farmer protest, and again nothing on the judicial or court updates also for us. Okay, now moving on to the editorial front. Again on the editorial page, okay, both all the editorials today are not really relevant from the CLAT perspective, rather than they are just mere updates. Okay, so the main editorial here is the dangers of misplaced optimism. Okay, this is an editorial. So a lot of times we have discussed the data points, right, that the government expenditure is reducing and the economy recovery is not really a V-shaped one, that there is a direct rebound happening. Okay, so that is why this editorial states that, see, government needs to keep on spending more so that the recovery is better. Why is this argument being made all the time that during the pandemic the government should spend more? Because see, this comes from historical past. In 1929, when the Great Depression had hit, it was only the economy of USSR which was a public sector based economy. Okay, which had not been affected by a pandemic. This is the same argument that economists across the globe are making, that for countries to revive their economies, they have to, the governments have to interject themselves. The private sector will only follow the government. Okay, they will follow the science. So if Indian economy has to really bounce back, Indian government needs to spend directly rather than rely on private sector to invest. Okay, now again here the second editorial in Stanford ranking, hope for Indian science. Now this is an analysis of a ranking that has been undertaken by a research study. Okay, which is with regards to Indian scientists, people who are working. Most of the scientists in this research are from government funded institutions or research centers or think tanks. So it is that, see, for India to really become a world leader of knowledge, India needs to spend more on research. Right now we spend less than 1% of our GDP on research. More and more we spend, the better our knowledge base will be and the better we will be at forthcoming future technologies. Okay, nothing more with regards to that. Apart from that, there is a policy initiative that is in the news, which is National Research Foundation. Okay, nothing concrete there. The expectation is that the foundation would be a concrete place through which research funding can be streamlined across the country. Okay, on the left hand side there is Fresh Vista. A new parliament building will be a celebratory if all have access to health and prosperity. This editorial is a little critical of the government's decision to push through a new parliament building when most of the people are either unemployed or surviving, merely surviving, and that government spending so many crores of public money on a building in which people will not be able to really get any support or any uh, real benefit for themselves, is what this editorial is stating. That, see, the pandemic has made Indian realize that our healthcare infrastructure is very weak, and a new parliament building that celebrates a mark on India's new or better healthcare infrastructure would be better rather than depending on a mere date. Okay, that is it. It's a suggestion from the editorial team. Okay, nothing relevant. Constant vigilance. The Khalistan movement is non-existent, but security agencies must watch fringe sections. It is an analysis that, see, the Khalistan movement has died down after the 1990s, but there still remains some fringe elements. The reason why the fringe and the editorial cautions the security forces that, see, We still have Pakistan, which is a country that sponsors terrorism, and the terrorism in Punjab may be dead, but it is still alive in the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. And that is why the government and security agencies need to be on a constant vigil. That is it on the main editorial page. On the op-ed, on the left hand side, the Marghazi festival in your living room. This is a analysis of how during the pandemic through online medium, art and music can reach people equally rather than people it being limited to people who could attend the festival physically. Because the festivals are taking place online, it has become more democratic. That is it with regards to this. Okay, on the right hand side, the rise of artificial intelligence economy. Yesterday's editorial was again also about artificial intelligence. This one also is about artificial intelligence, and it states that, see, India needs to still have lot more artificial intelligence supporting engineers who can actually do pioneering work to improve the apparatus of technology. And because artificial intelligence is considered the fifth industrial revolution, okay, and for India to become a world leader, it needs to be a front runner on this. See, when the first industrial revolution had happened, we were a colonized country. When the second one happened with regards to internet boom, we were a liberalized economy. We were advent on that. Okay, so we were our IT companies have been beneficiary of that boom, but not been the front runner, right? But the idea is that with artificial intelligence, India can become the front runner, because that revolution is still about to happen, and the countries who will be most prepared for it will be the one who will reap the maximum amount of rewards from it. Okay, so this is a policy editorial. Again, on the left hand side, lessons from Hyderabad, political analysis of different political parties and how they have fared. Okay, then the cartoon also is an explanation of what is happening in the farmer protest, that farmers are on one side of the cliff, and here it is shown Home Minister Amit Shah in a cartoon caricature. It's a long table which is shown as talks, and how there is no middle point being reached by either of the parties. Okay, then yesterday's editorial we had discussed about Indians supporting vaccine. This is the entire analysis of that survey itself. Okay, that Indians mostly support vaccines. Among all the countries in the world, Indians are the most confident ones, or as a larger population, who are okay and welcoming of vaccination. Okay, nothing really relevant from our point of view here. Okay, then on other news with regards to what is happening in the country on particular day, nothing relevant apart from local body elections happening. There is an update from Sabrimala temple. Okay, the Sabrimala temple has recently revoked a restriction that it had placed on women entry below the age of 50. Silently, the Sabrimala temple board, or the police which handles the website and controls who gets the pilgrimage certificates, have removed that restriction. Remember, the Supreme Court in its original decision in 2018 had declared this practice as unconstitutional, and a review petition is pending before the court, but the order has not been stayed. That means the 2018 judgment is still applicable. Okay, and that is why there was controversy when the current incumbent government in Kerala had been changing its stand altogether. But now they have silently removed that restriction. So women below the age of 50 can attend or visit the temple. Okay, but the people there are now saying that, see, this has become a non-issue. It doesn't matter anymore. There are so many other important issues that confront the people, more or less the COVID-19 pandemic. So it doesn't matter too much. Okay, then again on the national front, nothing. The Congress party is demanding a winter session of the parliament. The last time a winter session of the parliament was not taken place was in 1984, when Prime Minister Indira Gandhi was assassinated by her own security guards. So the security situation in the country was considered to be weaker, and hence the parliament session was deemed unnecessary. Okay, since then it has happened all the time. During the Kargil war, different wars, foreign policy impasse, the session has never been cancelled. Okay, there is one news here with regards to SARC. 8th December is the SARC Foundation Day. We'll be discussing SARC today. In CLAT 2020, a passage with regards to SARC had come. Okay, then with regards to Rafale aircraft, the delivery of the aircrafts will not be delayed by the pandemic. That is what it is saying. China and India have decided not to. So this year marks 70 years of diplomatic uh, relations between China and India. Okay, the original plan in the beginning of the year was to celebrate these 70 years with commemorative stamps, sessions, webinars, and other stuff. But now, because in from May onwards, the situation between the two countries has changed completely. Okay, and hence here is the a news that they will not be releasing joint commemorative stamps or any such things. Okay, now moving on with regards to other news on the economy side and international affairs. Okay, nothing really specific. There is suggestion that US may have its first defense secretary as a black American. Okay, but this is not confirmed yet, right? Lloyd Austin could become the first black or African American defense secretary, but this has to be confirmed by the Senate. Why am I not discussing appointments of the Biden administration is because Democratic Party, from which Joe Biden belongs, does not have the majority in the Senate. So for any appointment to be confirmed, it has to be passed by the Senate. So the elections for Senate are to take place in January, which will decide whether the Democrats can have majority or the Republicans will continue to have it. So only once that is there, the appointments can be confirmed. Once appointments are confirmed, it is only then we can discuss them. Okay, previously discussing them as suggestions doesn't really matter, because the exam is going to ask you what really happened. Speculations are not part of examination preparations. Okay, and then there is the news with regards to the Pfizer vaccine. The first person we discussed it on the front page. Okay, there is update with regards to EU and Brexit talks. Once they are finally there, okay, all this speculation with regards to Brexit and EU and the deliberations have been going on for 2 years. Okay, nothing really concrete has stuck. Only when it sticks concretely, then it makes point to discuss all of this. Okay, then uh, tomorrow is the traditional day when Nobel Prizes are given, and tomorrow we will be discussing the Nobel Prize for 2020. Okay, in-depth analysis of the Nobel Prize. Also, there was Indian Mobile Congress 2020 had taken place. Prime Minister Narendra Modi talked about 5G technology being rolled out in timely manner. Mukesh Ambani, the CEO of Jio companies, and Sunil Bharti Mittal and other telecom partners had spoken, private players of the telecom, and had spoken about a uniform system for laying out of 5G technology. So that is something that we'll have to see. Okay, once it is really there. Okay, telecos urge government to spell out its 5G policy. All of that is not yet there. Okay, once those things are there, discussing the technology makes far more sense. Okay, then on the sporting front, India lost the series, lost a match yesterday, but won the series. Uh, Hardik Pandya was declared the man of the series, but he gave his award to Natarajan, who was debuting this year for the first time at the age of 29. Okay, nothing apart from that is relevant. One news that I said will be relevant for us today is because of SAARC. Okay, the South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation, in existence since 1985, came into being on December 8, 1985. The idea that South Asia as a collective organization should exist. The inspiration of SAARC comes from ASEAN and European Union, right? That other regional corporations have been able to successfully uplift the economies of all the countries. But SAARC has been a no-show because of two member country internal conflicts between member countries. No summit has taken place since the 2014-18 summit that had taken place in Kathmandu. Okay, the member nations are Afghanistan, Bhutan, Pakistan, Nepal, Bangladesh, Maldives, Sri Lanka, and India. As you know, tensions between India and Pakistan become the most important part of SAARC. India does not want to have any conversation with Pakistan until it puts those behind bar for terrorist attacks in India and stops sponsor terrorism in India. And that is why SAARC has never ever been able to take off. A free trade agreement between the SAARC nations was flown in 2006, but no real headway has been made. Okay, India has had better relations with other member nations in general, but as an organization, SAARC has been let's say, a failure at large. Okay, the secretariat of SARC is based in Kathmandu, and there are 8 member nations for SARC. Okay, that is it with regards to SARC. The reason why it doesn't become really that important is because, see, it came in this year's examination itself, right? A repetition of the same topic becomes less likely. What becomes relevant is that other groupings that we have been discussing, ASEAN, European Union, their summits, become rather more important because those organizations can become a part. What this question had told us is that groupings or regional organizations is part, a primary subject of CLAT preparation, and that is why we need to keep an eye on all such summits. Okay, so that is it from me today. There is nothing relevant on the newspaper side apart from this update for you all. There is no concrete news apart from the Nobel Prizes, right? We will discuss the Nobel Prizes tomorrow, which is the traditional day when the prizes are actually given. So it makes sense to continue with the tradition and talk about them on December 10, which we will be doing. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions with regards to your preparation, any other doubts, put that in the comment section. With regards to notes, we have been listening to your concern and working on an apparatus. It is mostly ready. Updates with regards to that, we will announce it in a day or two. Okay, on what platform they will be available, how they will be available, all those details will be available to you by me in a couple of days. Okay, with regards to other specific preparation talks with regards to how to read faster, how to retain faster, I will be making other short videos for them as and when they become possible. Okay, so thank you so much. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. We love your appreciation. It gives our entire team at Law Prep Tutorial a real push to push harder to prepare students to realize their dreams for entrance at prestigious national law schools. Thank you so much. If you are one of those who haven't subscribed to the channel, do remember to subscribe to it and hit that bell icon so that you don't miss the update for tomorrow.